Hey there, ambitious business owners. I'm Michaela, and if you're not really sure what marketing is, but you know that your business needs it, then you are in the right place. This is Growth Marketing Unleashed, Marketing 101 for small businesses, the podcast where we break down the basics of marketing, marketing strategies, and discuss actionable steps that you can take away and implement right now. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the 5 common marketing mistakes that businesses are making, and I'm going to give you some things that you can do to fix those mistakes. So let's get into it. So let's talk about some marketing mistakes that you've probably made. The first one is lack of a clear target audience. Your target audience is really your ideal customer. A lot of people want this to be everyone. Everyone ages 25 to 35, or everyone that lives in Dubuque, Iowa, which is where I live, or your city. The reason that this doesn't really work is that you end up creating very generic messaging and it doesn't actually resonate with anyone. So you could be posting, but no one's really resonating with the messaging that you're creating because you're not speaking to them. You're speaking to everyone, and every individual people want to feel heard and seen and be spoken to. There's a saying, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, and that is especially true in marketing. So you really run the risk of diluting your messaging and losing out on business. So what you should do instead kind of depends on whether you already have customers or whether you're just starting out. But if you already have customers, survey them. Survey your existing customers or your best clients. Reach out and ask them a few questions. Find out who they are. You want to look at or research their demographics, but you also want to know their lifestyles. Like, what problems are they facing in regards to your product or service? Where are they spending their time online? What really influences their buying decisions? You might also create some buyer personas based on that information. That makes it really easy to write to those people when you're creating your marketing messaging. A buyer persona is really just a description of your target customer, one person, your ideal customer, who they are, what they do for a living, and where they spend their time and money. Now, if you're just starting out, you get to come up and dream up these things. You definitely want to research the market in your area, make sure those people are there, but you get to dream up those things and figure out who you are selling to. Mistake number 2 that businesses make is trying to be everywhere at once online. So a lot of people, when they first start out, will just go out and get all of the social media pages. So you're getting an Instagram, a Facebook, a LinkedIn, a Twitter or X account, a YouTube account, all of those things. And then you proceed to not post very much or not frequently enough, or maybe you're posting the exact same thing on every single channel, and your messaging just gets really watered down. And so if you don't understand who your target audience is and which channels they're on so that you can find them and connect with them, then you're probably wasting time, which equates to money. What you should do instead, go back to mistake number 1, figure out who your target audience is, where they spend their time online. This also gets into the difference between B2B models and B2C models, which I talked about in the previous episode. So go back and listen to that if you haven't yet. As an example, if you own a clothing brand and you've done your research or surveyed your customers and you know that they're making impulse decisions on Instagram, for example. Go sign up for Instagram. This then gives you a better strategy for what you should be posting on Instagram, like photos of your clothing, styled photo shoots, different color options for different products, all of those things. Or if you're a B2B business and your target audience is other business owners, then you know that you need to be on LinkedIn. Because when those business owners go on Instagram and Facebook, for example, they're not thinking about business. They're thinking about connecting with friends and family or shopping for something on Facebook Marketplace. They're not necessarily or primarily using those platforms for business decisions. One thing I do want to note is that there's nothing wrong with going to those other platforms that you don't have strategies for yet and getting your business handle or username. You might one day want to be on those platforms. You might change your strategy or your business model and want to connect with people on those other platforms. And the worst thing would be going there and not having your business handle. So that's the @ if you're not sure what I'm talking about. Like on Instagram, at Wild Agency LLC. You want to grab that even if you're not on Instagram yet. Mistake number 3 is not tracking anything data-wise. A lot of businesses are on different social media channels, but they've never gone into the analytics tab to see how your posts and how your content is doing. Or maybe you have an email newsletter, but you're not really sure how many people open it. Or maybe you have a website, but you're not really sure how many visitors you're getting on those websites and how many people are converting through the website because you're not tracking any data. It really makes it impossible to optimize any of those campaigns and channels to make sure that you're spending your time and your money on the activities that are going to make you money in return. So what you should do instead is, if you have a website, go sign up for Google Analytics. It's free. It's totally free. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there that will show you the basics or dive into the nitty-gritty of how to use Google Analytics. Reach out to me if you need any help. If you have social media pages, I recommend going out and looking at those social media analytics once a month. Check out your different post types, how well they're performing. If you have an email newsletter, check out the open rates, the click rates. If you're just sending emails through like your own email provider like Gmail or Outlook, you should really sign up for an automation tool, an email automation tool that will also track those analytics for you. You also want to see how much you're paying for any of those platforms and how many customers you're getting through them to make sure that you're actually getting a return on your investment. So if you're paying for an email automation tool, but your emails aren't getting a lot of traction, nobody's really clicking or buying through them, then you need to either rethink your strategy on those platforms or consider getting rid of that platform for now. These are just some quick and easy data points that you can look at, just a general overview, but I do actually have a blog article on the Growth Hub where I talk about the essential marketing data metrics that you should know. So I will link that in the description below. Mistake number 4 is ignoring customer feedback. A lot of businesses don't want to ask their customers for feedback because they're afraid of what they'll say. But here's the thing, those negative comments, when they're said in a private space like a survey, are just constructive criticism. And it really opens the door to a conversation where you can hopefully rectify whatever went wrong between those customers. It gives you insights into how you can improve your product or service to then better serve your customers. Because what you don't want is a customer not being able to communicate with you or give them your feedback in an anonymous or private way, and then going and spreading those poor reviews online on social media or Google reviews or any of those places. So what you should really do instead is implement periodic surveys to your customers, depending on your business type, I guess. But when you offer them the opportunity to share their frustrations in that private space, you're giving them an outlet. Surveys are also going to surprise you and bring lots of positive things to light. Hopefully, probably. You might learn that a ton of customers are finding you on Facebook, even though you don't really get that much engagement on Facebook. So you know that platform is working for you, even though the Facebook analytics might not show it. You might also learn different pain points about your customers, why they chose you, that you can then use to your advantage in your messaging. And then you can also ask for testimonials from your best clients, the ones that give you positive survey results. You could ask them if you can use a quote from their survey in your marketing, add it to your website, add it to other things, share on social media, that type of stuff. Now, I do want to mention that designing a great survey that actually asks questions that get you the answers that you want is something that you want to spend time and think about, because asking the right questions is a very strategic thing about the way that you word them, how you ask certain questions. Let me know if you want an episode about how to implement surveys and ask the right questions in the comment below. The last mistake that I see businesses make is sporadic marketing. Marketing can be hard when you don't know a lot about it. It can be very time consuming, and time is money, so that means it's expensive. You might You might only post on social media when you remember, or send that email newsletter when you remember, or once a month. But effective marketing strategies do require consistency. It is really a sustained long-term effort. It's a marathon, not a race. And so you need to be more consistent in your messaging. So here's what you can do instead. Sit down once a month and plan out your different marketing strategies and tactics, like schedule your social media posts and schedule your email newsletters. Take that marketing day to also review some of your analytics and your data from the previous month so that you can decide what worked last month and what didn't work, so then you don't waste your time doing that same stuff again this month. Maybe schedule some surveys to go out to your customer base. And then you can review that survey data next month. You also want to make sure that you're really starting small and starting manageable with the different channels and platforms that you choose, and master those first before you move on to some of the other ones. So make sure that you have a great Instagram strategy, are posting consistently, making great content that connects with people, and optimizing that content for click-throughs or purchases before you then move on to, say, YouTube or Facebook or any of those. Marketing automation tools and schedulers are going to save you a lot of time and money so that you don't have to remember, oh yeah, I need to post on social media today, every single day. That's going to spread you too thin, and you're going to forget, and you're going to have that sporadic marketing, and you're not going to be consistent. I do actually have a blog article about how to batch your content and create a bunch of content all at once. So I will link that in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. And if you ever need help with your marketing strategy, just want to discuss things with someone, or you want someone to implement everything for you, give me a call. So, were you making any of the mistakes that we talked about today? Let me know in the comments what you're going to do to strategize and improve your marketing. Next week, we're going to talk about how to optimize your website and creating a user experience that actually converts. So subscribe if you're excited about what comes next. If there are any specific marketing strategies or tactics that you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment below. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, search for Michaela Albee or Wild Agency, and you can always visit us online at wildgrowthagency.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Michaela, and I will see you next week.